friends and enemies. I am back again to give you my review of Virginia Woolf's To the Lighthouse. This book was published on May 29th of 1927. This book doesn't really truly have a plot so much as scenarios through which the author examines and explores the dynamics of the characters' relationships to each other and life. Somewhat generally, it follows the exploits of the Ramsay family with their 8 children, as well as some friends who are joining them in their summer house that they rent every summer. An entire 124 pages are dedicated to one afternoon where the youngest of the Ramsay children expresses an interest in seeing the lighthouse the next day. Spoiler, they don't end up going to see the lighthouse the next day. A few things happen during that afternoon. A couple that is staying with the Ramsays get engaged, and the family has dinner. But of course, it doesn't describe all of this in a very straightforward way. I'll be honest, when I first started reading this book, I thought my brain was a little broken because I tend to read these books in the middle of the night, and so I thought perhaps it was just brain fog. But then when awake brain was reading it and still having trouble, I went to Google to figure out what was going on. One of the first search suggestions in Google for To the Lighthouse is To the Lighthouse difficult to read? And I can say that the answer is a resounding yes. It is written in a style of stream of consciousness where you're not always sure which character's thoughts you're following. In case you don't know what stream of consciousness is, it is a style of writing that attempts to follow a character's thought process, usually involving sensory impressions and sometimes very difficult to follow grammar and incomplete ideas. I personally had to reread several passages in order to try to understand what was happening, and even then I'm not completely sure I got everything. I think you need more than a week to really digest this book properly. At least I do. Even with it being as hard to read as it was, I still think it was really beautiful. The intricacies of each character's state of mind and the way they thought about things was varied and interesting. I personally found myself relating very much to Mrs. Ramsay, the mother of the 8 children. The way that she thought about motherhood and her role in her family felt very relatable to me. After we pass the scenario of the afternoon, 10 years pass in the book in which we don't follow any particular character, but we follow the passage of seasons through the house. And we kind of follow the house, even though the house doesn't really have feelings, as decay and time wears on the house. We only get a few interjections every so often about things that are happening to the family, such as deaths and World War I. In the final chapters, the family and friends finally return to the summer house, and they do eventually go to the lighthouse, but first examining how grief has affected their relationships. It's a beautiful book, and I'm going to give it a 4 out of 5. I think it's going to be a long time before I pick this up again, if ever. Thank you so much for watching. Please like and subscribe to continue following my journey through the 20th century. If you have any suggestions of what I should read after this, please let me know in the comments. Bye-bye, beautiful people.